Guys, our friends at Ridge have done it again. Not only have they brought you the world's greatest wallet and the coolest key case, they've now launched the Ridge Land and Sea Watch Collection. Made with the premium materials known as the Ridge Standard, this watch will help you to level up your look. The aluminum colors and carbon fiber materials even match some of Ridge's popular wallets and key cases. Each watch comes with 2 bezels and 2 straps, giving 4 unique styles. Guys, it's multiple watches all in one, perfect for different styles and occasions. That's not all either. The Land and Sea watches are guaranteed water resistant. With 200-meter water resistance, it's fully submergible. Ridge just keeps evolving, and you gotta try their latest launch. They're even offering a risk-free 45-day trial and lifetime warranty on your watch. Click the link in the description. Use my coupon code Chael. That's going to get you 10% off the Land and Sea watch. Respectful. Guys, it's not a word that I use overly often, and I don't think that you do either. And I don't know that we really even care to see it within the space of MMA. But there is something very respectful that is happening and being shown specifically to Volkanovski. I have not seen a 155-pounder. I mean, that is murderer's row. The most difficult division in our entire industry. Not just this era of the sport, the most difficult division in the entire industry, any way you want to do it, 155 pounds. And nobody is arguing that Volk is going to slide up and take that opportunity. How come? How come? Is it because it didn't catch us off guard? I mean, this was telegraphed. This was extremely telegraphed. This was Volk coming out and talking about interviews about maybe going up to 155, and then Volk demanding that he be in the backup position, and Dana putting him in the backup position, having him weigh in. I mean, is that why we just slowly accepted it? It wasn't a Band-Aid getting ripped off situation where the name came out in the press release and we didn't know where it came from? Or is it because he's so damn good? A number one contender is supposed to mean that you are the best amongst the field. You have proven it. There's one question left, which is, can you, as the representative of the field, beat the guy that's got the championship? That's what it's supposed to mean. We don't always get to do that, right? Things move really quickly. And is the field saying that Volk is the toughest amongst all of us? Are they showing a respect to the 14 or 15-0? Are they showing an appreciation that he had the courage to fly and be in a backup position, take on one of 2 hammers on less than 24-hour notice? What part of it has everybody accepting this so much? Because there is a narrative that Volk is not the hardest opponent and isn't the most likely to beat Islam. But hold on, let's just dig into that, right? And we don't know. We haven't seen him throw the punches yet. But if we're to get together as a community, what do we think? Do we think there's a harder matchup out there for Islam? Do you think Poirier would be harder? Do you think Gaethje would be harder? Just for example, you got Chandler, you got Benny DeRouge, right? You got some really good guys to choose from. To be the number one contender, to be going into that spot, to be in that coveted position is supposed to mean that you've already risen above that. And what do you think? Because it was just, it was 3 short weeks ago where another discussion in our community was going on that Islam shouldn't be fighting Charles in the first place. That Islam is not what I just described as a number one contender. He is not somebody who has clearly shown he's better than the field. He had a great record, and he had it for a lot of time. They weren't over high enough ranked guys. I mean, just for example, this was really believed. Then he goes in there with the champion, and it's completely dominant. You go, oh, I'm all right with that. Like, right, we've got to have this back and forth. I'm just asking, have we all accepted the fact that Volk is the toughest challenge for Islam? Wild spot. And we got Benny DeRouge that's being very quiet, but Dustin Poirier is showing an interest in taking on Benny. And Khabib, if he could mastermind it, would put that on the same card as Islam and Volk are going to fight. And Khabib's doing that for one reason, which is if something happens to Volkanovski, we've already got two guys ready. They can come up and take on my disciple. But I don't hear anybody going after Volk. And I'm okay with it. This isn't my typical, let's get some banter, let's get going back and forth. Start to align yourself and hedge your bet now. It's just an observation. I think it leads to respect. I think people have appreciated what Volk has done. I think they do see that 15-0. I think they do see a guy that put himself in a backup position, a job nobody else asked for. Not only he asked for it, he demanded it. Not only did he demand for it, he flew out there and he did it. He got his paperwork done. He got onto weight. He did a training camp. Wasn't joking. He jumped in the ring instantly when called upon and went face to face with the champion. I think there's a real appreciation shown for that. They're talking about interiming Volk's title, 145-pound title. And they went to Volk on that and they asked him if he has a problem with that, and he said no. And I want to share with you, and I know that I'm in the minority, I like the interim championship. I like opportunity. I like when we can give a little bit of rub and a little bit of shine to everybody. I like the way the Olympic Games does it. Like, it's hard enough to get to that position, and once you get there and you fail, but there's still three. There's a few people that will be recognized. I kind of like that. And I know sports are very cutthroat and there's only one. I get the whole thing. I like the interim championship. I like it for those very reasons. And they asked Volk about it. Volk said, no, he didn't have a problem with the fact that they were going to interim that. But I appreciated that because I've heard other guys complain. I've had other champions come out and complain that somebody else is going to be given an opportunity. And I feel as though I've got to come out and explain it. Wait a minute. You aren't being stripped. They aren't taking your glory away. Your glory is still there. There's another piece of glory, and two other guys are going to get to go for it. So I really appreciated what Volk said no, and Volk even elaborated on it. He said, that way I'll know who's next. I'll have real clear marching orders. Regardless of what happens in my quest up here at 55, this will be resolved. I'll know who my next opponent, which is hard for Volk. A lot of guys, they don't call him out. They don't make waves. They don't go after him. They'll talk about, I want a title opportunity. I want to be champion. They don't say Alex Volkanovski. So instead of doing this big dance, pomp and circumstance, they're going to isolate it. He'll be able to look down, right? The one thing that we do know about the interim championship is you are now next for the undisputed championship. That's one thing that hasn't yet been corrupted within our sport. And I think that was nice. I think that was appropriate by Volkanovski. I think that it was respectful, but I think he's getting shown that respect back. And I would be curious, if we could get a little bit of a dialogue, I would be curious. Are we giving him that respect because we like him? Are we giving him that respect because he's ranked number one? We're giving him respect because we just don't want to push back. He seems like a decent guy. Or are we giving him that respect because we do look at the field, we do look at him, and we do believe that he fits the criteria and the definition that he's the best guy that we have to offer to take on the champion right now.